You found the neighborhood. You love the floor plan. You can already picture pulling into that driveway. Then the lender pulls your credit. And just like that, the dream is on hold. Bad credit doesn't just sting, it stops everything. And nobody tells you what to do next. Until now. Welcome to the Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast, where we sit down with real builders across Texas so you know exactly what's out there waiting for you. Let's go get your home.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast. I'm glad you're here. Today we're heading over to Applewhite Meadows, and I've got Mr. George Perez from First America Homes joining me. If you've been following along, you know I like sitting down with the folks who are actually out there on site every day. The ones talking to buyers, walking the lots, answering the same questions 100 times, and still being patient about it. Right, George?
That's it.
That's the hard part sometimes. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to get into what's happening at Applewhite Meadows, what buyers are asking about right now, and what Mr. George has learned from being in the middle of it. George, thank you for making time.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
I appreciate it. Is this your first podcast?
It is.
Okay, that's okay. I'll go easy on you.
Sure you will.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. And we were talking a little bit before we started, and I was mentioning, podcasts are laid back. It's not super formal. We're just having a conversation, right? But what I love about this is that it gives us the opportunity to find out more about you, to find out a little bit more about this house, to learn about this community, right?
Of course.
Because one thing that we know for a fact, and again, this was something that we had just talked about, it sounds and it feels like not a lot of people are buying houses. And of course, if you compare it to a few years ago, yes, it's not anything what it used to be, but people are definitely still buying houses today, right?
I agree. Honestly, people are always looking for homes, and the market go one direction, go the other direction. There's always going to be a time that there's someone that wants to start anew.
That's right.
And at this point, it might be a little bit harder, but that's what we're here for.
That's right. That's exactly right. Maybe there's a little more hand-holding that's needed or guidance, right, and things like that, but that's exactly what you're here for. That's what we're here for. That's what our goal is. Now, the Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club, our objective is to basically get more people to know and understand that they have potential to buy a home.
Yes.
Just like this beautiful model home that we're in right now, right? We don't want credit to be the thing that stops you. We don't want down payment to be the thing that stops you, right? Now, you've been doing this here for almost a year now. Have you seen like different situations where people are able to get some assistance with the down payment and things like that? And are there programs available? Is it what you hear about sometimes, like this huge dollar amount that you have to come up with to buy a house? Like 20%?
There is a lot of help that we have. And that's one thing that I've noticed with First America Homes is that we are there for our clients.
Okay.
When a buyer comes in, we have promotions where we could help them out with the interest. We actually will buy down the interest for our buyers. We start at $499 instead of what it's actually.
Right.
If there's a need for down payment assistance, we have that. So we have preferred lenders that will allow us to help and find remedies for any buyer at any part of their lives, so that way we could help them out.
Yeah. Now, you do still have to have income, though, right?
Oh, of course.
You got to have a job.
Yes.
Right. We're not back. I remember back in 2008, they were doing no income, no job loans before the bubble burst.
I remember.
So so we're not doing that anymore. I think they've learned that lesson, that hard lesson. Right.
We should have never learned that lesson.
That's right. That's right. It's kind of crazy that it got there, but yes. So you do need to have some income. It helps for it to be at least minimum 2 years?
Minimum 2 years, yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
What happens if you are in the same industry, and I know you're not the loan officer, but maybe just kind of based on what you've seen, if you're switched to a different job, but I've only been working at this job for 1 year, but maybe it's in the same industry, right? And I was working somewhere else for 10 years. Can they still work with that?
It's a possibility. I mean, the biggest thing that I've learned and that I've experienced with First American Homes is because we have a preferred lender, they've encountered so many different situations that allows us to be able to connect the dots from one situation to another situation.
Yeah.
So the big thing about it is on site, I call the lender and say, hey, this is what's going on.
Yep.
What can we do to help this buyer?
I love
and
that.
a lot of times they're saying, you know what, this is what we can do. We can formulate a plan. Let's go ahead and apply. Let me get their documents and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about this exact house right here. So,
Okay.
so first and foremost, we are just south of Palo Alto College,
Yes.
right? Off of, what is this, Highway 16?
This is Highway 16 and 410.
And 410.
the crossroads.
Okay, yeah. By the way, a fast-growing part of San Antonio.
Very fast.
A lot of things coming up in this area.
Honestly, it is the fastest area that I've seen so far, and it still has that comfort of home.
Sure.
A lot of people that lived in the South Side for a long time stay here because it feels homey.
Yeah.
But we have the huge hospital coming up with University Hospital being built. It's literally 5 minutes from our community.
Yeah.
We have Toyota.
Yeah.
That's
What is that, 10 minutes?
10 minutes away,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
And then they're doing an expansion so that it's going to get bigger. So
Yeah.
it's just growing.
Yeah.
We have JCB or JBC. I can't remember exactly, but it's a huge manufacturer for semi trucks that's coming
okay.
up.
Okay.
So, and then we have, shopping centers that are going to be built
Yeah.
around here. And then, of course, Southwest Military, we have Sam's, we have Walmart,
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
HEB. I mean, everything is nearby.
And isn't there a pretty major university nearby too?
Yes.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
We got Texas A&M.
That's
and
also
then
close by.
we have Palo Alto as well.
And
so
Palo Alto's
that's
not a bad school
perfect.
either. Yeah, that's
so
a big school.
everything's nearby, and it makes it so much easier for somebody to not necessarily have to leave this area.
Yeah.
It's a great area to be.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Okay, so this particular home that we're sitting in is very nice. It's a 2-story.
Yes.
What is the square footage on this model here?
This is actually the Vail floor plan, and it's 1,857 square feet.
Wow.
And
I for sure thought you were going to say 2,000 plus.
it feels that way.
Very much so. Very much
So
so.
it has it's a 4-bedroom.
Okay.
All our primary master bath bedrooms, should I say?
Okay.
They're on the first floor.
Okay.
So
I see.
the nice thing about that is that if you don't need to go upstairs, you have the ability just to stay here in the first floor.
Yeah.
This particular floor plan has a second living room upstairs.
Does it?
And
Okay.
then you have the 3 bedrooms as well. So
Wow. Okay.
it makes it really nice. And it's 2.5 baths.
2.5 baths. Okay, that was going to be my next question. Now, what does this home or this builder, First America Homes, how do they handle things like, for example, the countertops and the houses and stuff? Is that what we're seeing there? Is that a standard? Is that an upgrade? I mean, I understand. Obviously, some things are definitely going to be an upgrade, and that's just the way it goes.
And
right?
that's one thing about walking into a First American Home is that there are several upgrades that we put to our model home, our inventory homes.
Sure.
But a lot of things are standard.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
countertop, as far as that particular color, is standard. You
Wow.
can upgrade from there, and
Okay.
that's granite.
Okay. Yeah.
There's several upgrades that we recommend to our buyers to do.
Yeah.
So that way it can get to where they have almost a customized home for themselves that they chose.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's a nice thing if we do a build from the ground up.
Sure.
So they could choose what they want in their home.
I see. Yeah. Now, even things like these cabinets right here, I'm seeing
Yes.
a big one that goes all the way to the ceiling.
Those are 42-inch, and those are
huge.
an upgrade.
That is an upgrade. Okay.
And the nice thing about that is that it just gives a completely different look to the house.
Very different. Yeah, no, it is. And it's like, you don't have to have this big of a kitchen when you have that much storage.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's going all the way up like that.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast first, we actually added a new guest about halfway through the podcast. And that's all good, because that's the fun part about podcasts. We could do whatever we want, man.
That's right.
So we've got an awesome new visitor here. This is Mr. Ross. What was your last name, Ross?
Nelson.
Ross Nelson. And give me your title.
So I'm one of the area sales managers here at First America Homes in San Antonio.
So we've got the area manager for First America Homes. So what Ross is going to do is kind of elevate the information. Normally, we're talking about the actual property, and we still are, right, George?
We
It's
are.
just kind of, we were literally talking about cabinets. I mean, we're doing deep dives on stuff, right? The cabinets, the countertops, the appliances, and things like that. But what I'd like to do is have Ross also chime in a little bit more about you, your company, the builder, what your plans are. Let's do a quick little maneuver over to you. Get a little bit of that info, and then we'll start to just like reintegrate this.
Perfect.
Ross is aware that this is the Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club, and the goal here is to cast a wider net and allow people to understand that, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, Ross, we don't want anything to stop you from becoming a homeowner, especially a beautiful, brand new construction home.
Oh, yeah.
There are unbelievable incentives that
Exactly.
that this builder offers, right?
Yes.
There are, and he was just talking a little bit kind of the lender side of things. Just there's programs for down payments. There's programs in different ways to make sure that the loan gets done, to adjust this or adjust that. These are experienced people, right?
Yes.
That are in these roles, right? And everybody has the same goal in mind, which is let's get you to the finish line.
Oh, yeah.
But what we need, and I think you'll agree with this, is we need you to also do your part. So we're all here. We want to help. I want to help with the credit. You guys want to help to make sure that the house gets done in the loan. But you've got to be able to also help yourself. Sometimes there's advice. Sometimes there's guidance that you have to take. You've done that as the sales rep, right?
Exactly. The biggest thing is that we communicate. We
Yeah.
follow up with everybody that we need to follow up with. There's not going to be a time where we're not going to know what's going on.
Exactly.
And if there gets to a point where you don't want to ask that question, we try to make it comfortable so that you do ask that question.
Right.
We become part of our family.
Exactly. Okay, so fill us in. Give us a little bit of background. How long have you been with the company?
So I've been with the company about a year now.
Okay.
I've been in new home building for about 10 years.
Okay.
Started in construction, went to sales management. So I've done, quite a bit.
Yeah.
And enjoy it every day.
That's right. Are you from San Antonio?
I am. Yes, sir.
And where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school, Helotes,
O'Connor
High School.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah, that's my neck of the woods too, as
Okay,
well. Yeah.
nice.
Or where are you from, George? I didn't get to.
I'm
to
actually
bring
from
that-
Del Rio.
You're from Del Rio.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, I moved over here to San Antonio and went to St. Anthony's High School Seminary while it was a seminary.
Okay.
And then from there, I basically been here since.
Ever since? Okay, so that's been about how long?
98, 97.
97. Okay, so a good while.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would have to get the calculator out.
Exactly.
And figure these things out.
San
Okay.
Antonio has just changed tremendously.
It has changed a lot. Yeah, and you grew up here as well?
Yep.
Also born and raised, everything?
Born and raised,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's cool when we're dealing with people that have, some longevity here with the city, because what we were talking about before you arrived was that the South Side is booming. This part of town is taking off. Tell me a little bit about, a little insight into how do you guys figure out where the community should be? I know for a fact that you guys have explosive growth in terms of communities since 2022?
Yes,
right?
sir. Yeah. So First America Homes, we're a private builder. We're headed by Danny Signorelli out of Houston. Phenomenal guy, great entrepreneur. He named First America Homes for a reason, as we truly believe in the American dream.
There you go.
We don't take that lightly. That's not a cliche that we throw out, with ease. That's what it's about, right?
Yep.
So
You know what? That's worthy of an applause, man. Just that statement alone. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's good. And so First America Homes, it's been in Houston for about a decade now. We've been in San Antonio this is our 4th year. Yes, we're growing. We're doubling in size almost every year. That's great. It's growth. It's a responsible growth.
Yeah.
So one of the ways we do that is we put a lot of intention on, like you said, where we build, how we build, the quality we build, the people we bring onto our team, the way we treat our buyers.
Yep.
So when we're looking at new communities, we're looking for obviously places people want to be. Location's very important.
Sure.
We want it to be convenient, so
Yep.
we make sure there's good commercial, good recreation and shopping around. Good schools, all that stuff that everybody needs to kind of enjoy where they're living. We're taking into account the cost of land, everything like that, and really kind of what new things and exciting things we can bring to that community.
Absolutely.
Like, we saw an opportunity here where we're currently at Applewhite Meadows.
Yep.
And we're true believers in kind of how we build homes and the type of homes we build, and it's been resonating, very well with the community. So
that is awesome. I think George was saying that there were like 3 communities in 2022, and now you guys are 20 plus.
Yes, sir.
Something like that. That's
so
wild.
It's exciting. We love the South Side. I've spent most of my career on the South Side here. We're just now kind of branching into Austin.
Okay.
To be more of a Central Texas division here, and then we're opening up at Dallas as well.
Wow.
So we're, Mr. Signorelli is deeply in love with Texas, as everybody, in the country should be.
Sure.
So, we're expanding quickly.
That is amazing. Also, a little perspective from your point of view. Are there big ranges as far as the cost of the house, or are they all sort of like in the same zone, right? Because this is what's the starting price here, George, at this community?
This one actually starts at $295.
I was gonna say, I thought there was a 2 in front of it.
Yes.
Yeah, which nowadays, if there's a 2 in front of it, I know it's popular. I know it's very, very popular if you're able to get in, with that number. But do you guys have some of the really higher end stuff as well?
We sure do, Marco. So we're probably one of the most versatile builders here in San Antonio, if not Texas. We start in the 200s, single story, 2-story. And then we're also going all the way up to about 650,000 right now, and that's going to include some half-acre and acreage properties,
Very
more
nice.
like your one-story ranch style homes.
Yeah.
So
what part of San Antonio would that be?
So it's going to be here on the south side.
Also in the south. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Jordan's Ranch, Lonesome Dove, Sandy Oaks is coming up.
Wow.
Bonita Vista down in Pleasanton. Vias over in Floresville.
Yeah.
We just sold out of a community up on the northwest side, Alamo Estates. So that style home is really resonating with our buyers, having a little bit more land. We're happy to do anything and everything, and it's been a fun adventure, and we're going to bring even more versatility here towards the end of the year.
Man, I absolutely love that. Great insight. Thank you for that. Okay, George, a little bit back to this, and then you can always jump in, right? I mean, that's what makes this stuff so much fun. But this property here in particular, so we've established that it is a 4-bedroom.
It is
right?
a 4-bedroom.
This one is a 4-bedroom.
Yes.
But where is this house like on the scale as far as like, is this the biggest model that you guys have?
This is my smallest model, actually.
This is the smallest?
This is the smallest.
Wow. This is the entry point.
This is the entry point.
Wow.
And when we have people walk into our home, they see the difference. I mean, they walk in here, like you said, it feels like it was bigger than what it actually is.
It really does. It really does.
But the nice thing about it is that we also have open floor plans to where we have a 20-foot ceiling.
Sure.
Where the island is twice as long as or long like that, but it's an island.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the diversity is that several of our floor plans are very different and accommodating to what people are looking for. If you need a second floor or a second bedroom at the bottom floor, we have that.
Okay. So customization like that is possible.
We have certain floor plans that we have that
It has like flexible.
I have that flexibility
options.
that they
Okay.
just choose from.
Okay.
So we have 5 floor plans at Applewhite.
Okay.
And they go from, like I said, right under 1,900 square feet,
Yep.
all the way to about 2,400 square feet.
Okay.
And that
Are
would
any
be
of
our
those one
largest.
stories?
No,
They're all 2 stories here.
homes.
Okay, got you. So that's just something to know. I mean, it's not necessarily good or bad, but it's sometimes people have that preference. And this particular community it's a 2-story.
Yeah. The wonderful thing about our homes is that all of my floor plans, the master bedrooms downstairs.
Always. Got it.
Which makes it a world of difference when a lot of people are actually looking for a home where they don't need to go up and downstairs.
Yes.
We have every one of our floor plans ready for that.
I like that. That proves obviously that you guys are listening to the voice of the buyer, right?
Yes, and that's exactly what Ross was saying, is that we pay attention. We want to find out where people want to live, but we also want to find out how they want to live.
Exactly. Now, do some of the floor plans have like the little, what is it, like the study, the little small room like that, or is it more just bedrooms?
We have
living rooms.
Our largest floor plan, which is the Mansfield, it does have a office.
It does have that extra room. So that's
part of
even in this community,
Yes.
that's an
so
option.
that would be a 5-bedroom with an office.
Okay, 5 bedrooms and an office.
And an
What is the
office.
square footage on that one?
That one's 2,416.
You guys were able to squeeze all of that into 2,400
Oh, yeah.
square feet.
Yes.
That's incredible.
It's
That
a
is
beautiful home, though. I mean,
That is
when people walk
absolutely-
into it, they fall in love.
Wow, man, that must be a popular one around here.
It is.
That's awesome. Okay, now a lot of the people that I talk to, naturally, there's a few questions that they almost always have. A lot of it has to do with credit first and foremost. We're on top of that. Then it's down payment. We kind of discussed some of that. But what about like incentives?
Yeah.
I know you guys, if you guys are growing as fast as you're growing, I'm sure you're very competitive on that as
Absolutely.
well. Do either of you guys want to, or maybe both want to talk and speak on that a little bit about what kind of incentives are available right now for your typical buyer?
For sure. Yeah, I can take a little bit of that.
Go right ahead.
So I would just preface this conversation. Incentives are very important. They're crucial. I would encourage everybody listening to this, yes, keep it in the forefront, but then also don't forget to really take into context the actual home.
Sure.
Make sure that you're loving the home. Make sure that you're going to love that home, 5 years from now, not just, the day before closing type
That's
of
right. That's
Now,
right. Good advice, Ross. Very good advice.
So that being said, we are highly competitive on incentives. For example, right now you can get a far below market rate. Average rate right now is probably 5.5,
Yeah.
if not kind of the high fives.
Yep.
We're offering a 4.99 fixed.
Very nice.
Plus we're covering up to 3% closing cost. All that means, and that's a lot of technical stuff, is we want this to be an enjoyable experience, especially getting to know George, getting to know our construction managers out in the field, getting
Yeah.
to know your soon-to-be home.
Yep.
But we also want that payment to be, a non-stressor as well as the price of the home.
That's right.
So George especially, he's really good at, diving into the needs and the wants of all of our buyers. They're going to be in our community. They're going to be our neighbors. We're here at this model quite often. So we're definitely great on payments and interest rates. On top of that, we're going to go one step further. And like I said, really dive into, our buyers and our homeowners situation. We can get very creative on how we structure the loan. We're just not going to necessarily throw out like a blanket, whatever,
Sure.
like some other people might.
That's right.
We're going to make sure that, it fits you year 1, year 2, all, however long you're in the home, it's going to work for you.
Yeah. No, that's
So
great advice.
That's kind of the fun part for us, is getting to know everybody individually,
Sure.
getting to, individually, solve their problem and make it worth their while.
Yeah. Well, again, you and I were chatting about the interest rate thing, right?
Yes.
And I tend to bring this up. My daddy was a realtor in the late 70s. At that point in time, the interest rates were extremely high, like 19-20%, right?
yeah.
And so, and then historically, they've always been higher than what we saw just a few years ago, right? But so many of us, we got really spoiled with those numbers, right? I mean, it kind of messed us up a little bit because we got the taste of that, and then it was like, if it's not the lowest of the lowest of the low, it's like, okay, now it's insanely expensive. But if you really look back over history, right now where the numbers are at, they're still reasonably low. They actually are, historically, right? But you mentioned that you're able to do a fixed rate.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I swore I heard the number 4 in front of it. You did say that, right? I wasn't hallucinating there?
No,
Now that's for the first year only.
No, so that's all 30 years.
That's the entire loan.
yeah.
Okay, see, so that's pretty phenomenal, and those are the kind of things that translate to affordable monthly payments, right? Stuff like that. Being able to lock in those rates at it, and being able to have your payment somewhere where it's maybe not too far off from what you were paying in rent. And I've seen that, and I've talked to people, and I'm like, they're paying a lot of money for rent, right?
Yeah.
Not only did I know the house prices did go up, but rents went up too, right? And so, have you seen anything like that, George, where somebody ends up telling you, this is not completely far off on my monthly payment from what I was paying
Every day.
in rent? So it's a very common thing.
Where we've talked to people that are renting, and they're saying, you know what, it sounds like by just adding maybe a couple hundred or a few $100s more, I could have my house. At that point, at the end of your, say you are renting and you end your lease, you have nothing. But when you buy and you finish paying, it's all yours.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest preface that we like to tell everybody. We're going to help you with, making that payment feel good. But the biggest point, I think, is when you see the way we build our homes. That makes me proud.
Yeah.
When Ross talked about, our name is First America Homes, is because we are talking to Americans that we want to build that home for them. And we structure it to where we build by stick. In other words, we get a piece of lumber and we cut it, we put it all together.
Sure.
And as you see the construction, it does make you proud. It makes me proud to be working for this company. And at the same time, we give all of our buyers a progress report of how it's being built. And that way they're a part of the progress also.
Yeah.
They're just not waiting for the home.
Right. Yeah.
They're
exactly.
seeing it come from nothing to a finished product.
Sure.
And they're loving it.
Yeah, George brings up a phenomenal point. Yes, our homes are beautiful. Yes, they're open concept. Yes, we have, kitchen islands and all this beautiful stuff, right? We love it. A lot of the beauty is also behind the walls.
Yeah.
Some people might not care about that. We geek out on that. We're kind of home building nerds. For example, like George is saying, we stick frame our homes. It takes a little bit of a higher kind of level of skill to do so. We also over-engineer our homes. So we're using quite a bit more lumber in these homes. Unfortunately, it's all hidden behind this beautiful sheetrock.
Sure.
But, what was it, 2 weeks ago, we had a tornado blow through San Antonio.
Right.
I think our First America Home customers were feeling a little extra confident, that their home was going to withstand some
For sure. Well, and let's be honest, right? What that computes to usually means a more efficient home as well, right? Usually that equals out to a house that has a lower, monthly payment on electricity and things like that, right? And so there's a real dollars and cents to what you guys are doing too. Absolutely. The house is going to last longer. I bet it even has an effect on even something like a resale value when that time comes if you had to move.
Exactly.
Right. But then there's also just while you're living there, you're going to probably have a more energy efficient life, and bill each month.
So absolutely. So, the way I always explain it to people is, first and foremost, your home is your safe haven for you and your family. That's a huge responsibility. We do not take that lightly. We take pride in providing that. On top of that, there's so much building science that goes into these newer homes, as far as, which layer is on top of the next layer and the purpose and the science behind that, energy efficiency, your home quality. And then in addition to that, we talked about payment. I would also encourage, yes, it can be a little intimidating and daunting if it's your first home.
Sure.
In addition to everything I mentioned, this is also a phenomenal investment. Your home appreciates in value.
That's right.
The government wants you to have homes.
That's right.
And there's huge tax advantages to being a homeowner, especially when you go to sell your home after a certain amount of time.
That's right.
So for those that are looking to buy a home, especially if they're not, investing in the stock market, retirement accounts, your home can also be a tremendous avenue, to build your wealth and leave a legacy behind.
That's right. And it's usually most people's biggest investment in their life, right? And so if that reigns true, then you obviously want to buy something of quality, right? There have been some builders throughout the history of San Antonio. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention any names. And then later you'd see the news stories, about the build quality and the nightmares. And then I still remember where I was living, somebody had put this big flyer banner in their front yard. It was like, never buy a home from so-and-so. And I was like, yikes, that's I think what happens when you start to just focus only on profits and not anymore on the things that you mentioned, George, seeing behind the scenes of, I'm sure that extra stuff is probably also a little more expensive. Right, let's be honest, to build that, right? A little more labor costs, right?
In the short term, yes, but I was raised, you do it once, you do it right. First America's got that thinking as well. So
there it is.
You just do the right thing.
That's right. And long term, it's going to pay bigger dividends anyways, right?
Yes.
And so that's kind of what you guys are really trying to say. How many people, George, do you see that in your time here in this community that are also from here already, that are just upgrading versus coming in from a different city or a different state? Let's call it like a transplant buyer. Is it a good little mix, or is it?
It's a good mix. Actually, I do have quite a few people that literally live in the next neighborhood.
Okay.
Or across the highway.
Yeah.
And they're wanting to come over here, whether it's because now the hospital's closer,
Sure.
because Toyota's right there.
That's right. Or because they see a nice house.
They see the nice house.
Right,
Exactly.
yeah.
And the big thing is that we get all sorts of people all the time. And the people that do come from this area or moved out of this area and then to another part of San Antonio, and they're coming back because, you know what, this side of town is home.
Sure.
And that's what they're wanting to get back to, because they're either raising a family or they just want to retire over here because that's what they used to feel this was home.
That's right.
So honestly, when somebody comes back over here, it's because they really want to get that history back of what they used to have before.
Sure. Yeah. You know what, guys? This has been awesome. Ross, I can't thank you enough for unexpectedly showing up today. You really helped us to bring some additional insight into the conversation. And we may need to do another one separately and just talk only about the higher level stuff that First America is doing, right now, and a little bit more from the leadership perspective, because that's a whole different angle, right?
Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Awesome. But George, nonetheless, really good info. I think this is a great place. What's the address here?
The address here is 10318 Gala Junction.
Okay.
San Antonio, Texas, 78224.
78224. And if somebody wanted to reach you, if they saw this episode and they're like, I want to go check that house out, what's the best contact number for you?
Reach me at 210-445-4546.
Awesome.
If I could just say one thing.
Yes, sir. Please.
So if you guys are remotely interested in getting a home, I highly encourage you, please get with George. George has been with us for a while, and the things I've seen this man do for his buyers, it's very fulfilling.
Yeah.
To the point where he met up with a buyer when he was on vacation in another state. You talk about transplants.
Wow. And, you did that?
We were in Florida. And
that's going the extra mile just a little bit there, my friend.
This guy goes the extra mile, and it's so genuine and pure, and it's just it's a pleasure to be around.
Man. Well, and a big shout out to you. Before you got here, we had no idea you were coming. George said, the person that interviewed me made me feel like it was just a conversation. It didn't feel like this uncomfortable, awkward interview. And then when you got here, he said, that's the guy that interviewed me. So there's a shout out to you, Ross.
Yeah. Likewise. George's easy to talk to.
Well, I mean, again, I think that's a good leadership quality, right? I think we've all been there, and some of those things can just be like horrendously uncomfortable. It's a good sign that you're working for a good company when it feels that way.
Exactly.
And I bring this up as a point to let the viewer or the listener know that, the things that happen behind the scenes with a company and the way that they're treating their employees, that's going to trickle down to your experience as well. Yeah. There's no question about that. We've all gone to places where we've had a bad experience, and we know it's the people that are working there, mostly the leadership, right?
Yes.
So you guys are covering all the angles, from the bones of the home to the nice little upgrades to even the way that the people are being treated. I think that speaks volumes of First America Homes.
Yeah. It just, it all goes back to, love what you do, care about home building, care about your people, both, your team members and strangers, and then just do the right thing and treat others how you want to be treated. So that's our motto.
Amen to that.
Yes.
That's
what I feel when I started with this company. It became my family.
Sure.
And to know that, Ross has my back, or any one of my coworkers, they were always there to give a helping hand.
Yeah.
And you don't find that, especially in a business like this where it's all about, the next sale. You can honestly say that when I came in here, it was something special.
I think that's a great note to leave off on. What do you think, Ross?
Hey, this was fun. Let's do it again.
Let's absolutely do it again. I'm going to give my outro here, and then from there, we'll make sure that we give you guys a shout out. But so that's going to do it actually for this one. We've got Mr. George and we've got Mr. Ross Nelson. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? First America Homes. Can't thank you guys enough. This was an amazing conversation. I appreciate you guys being straight. I appreciate the unexpected visitor that added some extra information.
Definitely.
If you're thinking about Applewhite Meadows, or you've just got questions about the process, go reach out to First America Homes. These are the people that you want to talk to. And if you've got something out of this episode, do me a favor and share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Like it, follow the page, all of that good stuff. And that's the Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast. We will see you guys on the next one. Thanks again, fellas.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
See you next time.
That's another builder, another community, another step closer to a home that's actually yours. The incentives are real. The homes are out there. The only thing left is your credit, and that's exactly what we fix. Visit creditconfidence.club and let's get you to the closing table.